Okay. Okay. Uh, this is special for you, I guess. So you should thank Kenneth later. I will stop my video so the screen recording size is not that big. All right. Going back to my question before. What do you have in mind when you enroll to this course? What is human-computer interaction?
Basically, when I think about human-computer interaction, is uh, like the basic of when people using anything that uh, what is- about computer, about smart, about anything that using a technology, etc. Sir.
Yes. Pretty much that HCI is what Saint told you. Okay. What Saint just said. So it pretty much interaction between human and computer. How human use computer. As you know, these days computer is not as big as the old days. Okay. Even the the mobile phone that we use, we can easily consider that as computer, right? It has its own central processing unit. It has a CPU, and we interact with it on daily basis, right? And yes, therefore, it is considered as within the scope of this human-computer interaction. Now, lately, the term UX or user experience is becoming more what's called popular, becoming more popular than simply HCI. But to me, it's still interactions, right? How we can focus on uh, making a good user experience is only enabled if we have a good HCI. Okay. Now, another learning outcomes in this unit is that we need to understand evaluation, how we can evaluate a user interface, how we can evaluate a user experience. Okay. We cannot simply just say, nah, I don't like it. Okay. Because if we only focus on a preference, then it will be hard to measure. And we cannot improve what we cannot measure, right? If we don't know where the problem is, then we cannot improve it. We cannot fix it. We cannot make it better. Okay. And therefore, evaluation is very important. Now, lastly, the last point will relate to your project where we want to have a hands-on activity where you evaluate a user interface and then you design or propose a alternative user interface that you think is better than the current system. Okay. Now, this course has been changed a lot. Previously it was 3 credits and now it's 2 credits. So yes, you will have less load, but 2 credit is still, as I mentioned before, is still not as less as it sounds. Okay, not as easy as it sounds. Now, in here we focus on latest trend, and we want to give you more hands-on experience, and that is easier to apply for you. Okay, instead of concept. Now, what we discussed before about HCI is just like Shane mentioned before. It's simply how people interact with computers, and this involves a multidisciplinary fields. Okay, not just computing, not just computing. As we discuss further, we will know that it involves many uh, disciplines, such as the arts, the technical, more technical, like the one that focus on physics and so on. Now, This is more about the fields related to HCI. Now, did you know how hard it is before to operate a computer? Okay, before HCI become a focus, people focus only on functionality. What does it mean? Functionality means, well, as long as it's working, it's working. It's not, people have less focus on helping user to use it. Okay, helping user to use it. Any one of you know punch hole, punch card, punch hole card?
Yes, sir. I see it in cartoon, sir.
In cartoon?
Yes, from Bob SquarePants, sir.
Really?
Yes.
All right, punch card. This is punch card. Okay, did SpongeBob explain what is this for?
Um, if I'm not wrong, it's for you not to go to get late, sir.
What? Sorry?
For you not to get late.
No, 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 no.
Maybe it's
Attendance, sir.
even
Attendance? No, 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 no. That is what's called check log card. That we still use today. Attendance log, like this, or something that you put on a machine, and then the machine will like put a hole to identify whether you attend or not, right? This one. You can see my screen, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, this is the punch card. So you put your card to put attendance. No, 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 no. This is some people still use it. Some organizations still use it, but this is old days too. But this is not what I'm referring to. This is what I'm referring to. Like this. This is a punch card. Come on. None of you know what is this for?
I think I've seen in YouTube they use it for music, sir. One of it, sir. They can
Music.
use it from yes.
Okay, that's Loki. How about Kenneth? You want to say something before?
Yes. So punch card is contained with a lot of holes that if that holes combine, it will create a command for a computer to do something. Is it the sir?
Yes, almost.
Oh,
Generally,
okay.
it's not only comments, it's simply how you can instruct the or send input to the computer. These days, you can just type using your keyboard, right? These days, you can just type using computer. You can type whatever you want, right? You can type whatever you want. So in the old days, to write an A, let's say I just want to tell computer that I want to write A, the letter A, one letter A. As you can see here, Jimmy, there's no A. Yes, there is no A. This is a hexadecimal. Okay? This is not even hexadecimal. Maybe the old one is not using hexadecimal. This is just 0 to 9. And therefore, A you need to convert to hexadecimal. There should be, I think they already recognize hexadecimal. You know what hexadecimal is? Hexadecimal for A. Good. So if you want to type an A, you need to type 10. Awesome, right? So if you want to type A in your computer, in the old days, you need to have 10, 2 rows. Imagine if I ask you to write an AZ using this punch card. Okay? You're going to kill me for sure. I mean, like, Jimmy, you're serious. There's no way I can do that with this. So this is the old days where how people operate computer. Like the early days. Really hard, but it's working. It is working. As you can see here, this is a set of, probably for today, it's just maybe like 5 lines of codes. 5 lines of codes, and you need to create this much. 10 lines top. Okay, because each of these is simply data, represent numbers or characters that we want to provide to the computer. This is how hard to operate a computer before, but it's working. Yes, it's working, but it's really hard to use. What's the problem with really hard to use? The biggest problem with really hard to use is that people will make mistakes eventually. That's one. Two, exclusivity. Not many people can operate computer. That's a lot of problem. Now, these days, people can operate computer with a nicely graphical user interface. That's really convenient. Any one of you operate terminal computer? Command prompt, maybe that's, there you go. After the punch hole in the 80s, maybe you're not born yet, right? You're born on 90s, 1990s, right?
For me, it's 20, sir.
Okay,
20.
you're
And
20.
2002, sir.
Gosh, I'm old. All right.
Yes.
This is in the 80s, right? In the 80s, people have a big computer, and it comes with one color, green, right? The text is in green. Okay. Here you can use your keyboard to write things, so it's way better than a punch hole. But it's still difficult because it's still using. You still need to memorize commands, syntax, and so on. However, this interface is still used these days. Do you know what's called organizations or that still use this one? This kind of interface, text-based interface?
Hacker, sir.
Yeah, that's what they say in movie. Yes.
So I think
yes.
we use it in OS class, sir.
Yeah, but that's class, right? How about in real world? Is there any organization or company that still run this kind of application these days? What do you think? Is there any that still use this ugly looking? Well, it's not green. They still use the latest computer, but the application is still text-based like this one. So there's no graphical user interface. It's just text-based. Is there any company that still do that? So I'm not talking that they still use an old computer like this one. No. These computers are outdated because they no longer produce the parts. But trust me when I told you there are many organizations that still work on this kind of interface. Can you tell me now, what do you think are the examples of organizations that on daily basis still use this kind of interface? Anyone? This kind of thing. All right, I tell you, bang. That's one. If somehow you manage to pick to Bang's computer screen, okay, some of them, maybe not all of them, including especially the teller, they still use a text-based applications. And on some retail shop, they still use this kind of interface. Okay, it's ugly, but it's very, very fast. Okay, and those who's working in network, who's working in security, will definitely have this kind of interface. Well, the truth is this interface is really good looking. You don't really do this. But as Lucky mentioned, when we spoke about OS, you will definitely need to work with this kind of interface. Because what? This interface is really, really fast and really, really powerful. Okay? There's no GUI that is faster than the terminal or the text-based applications. Put it simply, you know Moodle, right? Our ULS. For us to restore a course using the interface, the web interface, relatively small course, it took like about 5 minutes. No, maybe 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, if we use the command line interface. But if we use this command line text, it probably finish in 2-3 seconds. That's a lot of efficiency. Okay, now let's go back to where was I? Now now what I mentioned is that what I mean is that with HCI, it's getting easier for people to use it, and therefore more people can operate this computer. Now, however, we also need to involve other people, because if we IT people only do this one, then no matter how hard it is for us to be easy, how hard for us to explain it easier for our user, we won't be able to understand their perspective. Okay, is there any time where you try to explain a concept in IT where you think it's very common and very easy, and you have tried to explain it in a very easy way, but they still don't get it? Okay, that is very common. Okay, we IT people all often considered as a nerd because we spoke something that they don't understand. Okay, we spoke something that they don't understand, and we don't understand them. Okay, this is so common that Google, you know Google, when we visit their office in Singapore, they mentioned this. They recruit a client relation manager, not from IT. So the requirement for Google to become Google client relation manager is not IT. You cannot be an IT. So they recruit people from biology, from chemistry, from whatever, okay, to promote their products. Okay, simply because the clients are often not IT people. The business people often not IT people, and they need non-IT people to speak to other non-IT people, simply because it's not possible for us who make the system to understand completely how the user perceive or understand our system. Okay, and furthermore, human computer interaction also to accommodate different kinds of users, including the expert one, the newbie, or the one that simply just start using computer, for example, impaired user, for example, the senior people who cannot see small fonts, or even people with disabilities. Okay, that is also need to be considered. Okay, now therefore HCI is a multidisciplinary because we also need to consider many aspects, and cognitive science is science where we consider psychological thinking. Okay, do you know that colors colors, even colors, can affect our psychology. For example, if you think about it, all big companies working in beverages, such as food and beverages, such as Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, Pizza Huts, they have two basic colors. All of them have the same two basic colors. Anyone knows?
Red and yellow.
Correct. Why? Why? Kathleen.
It makes us more likely to eat.
Yes, correct. So if you're on a diet, don't have a red or yellow background on your computer. You will likely to feel hungry. Exactly. That's why we need cognitive science. We want to create a system, okay, that is fit for purpose. The layout is fit for purpose. Even the color, because even the color can change people's psychology. Okay, for example, if you want to design a website for let's say university, you don't design it like dark, okay, with black, okay, regardless what you say about uh, uh, all positive things about being in dark mode. You can say, Jimmy, having a dark mode will simply reduce the carbon copy. It's more comfortable to our eyes. It doesn't matter. Dark is not fit for university, for example. Okay, I never see a university with a dark mode website. It just doesn't fit the academia. Okay, you can find the cognitive science behind every color in Google, for example. There are many. If I want to have a system for education, what should I use? For education for children, what should I use? So if you go to places for children, they usually have a bright colors, and there is a reason behind that. Okay, there's a reason and a lot of research behind that, because children are likely to attract to bright colors and so on and so forth, right? We computer science people in here, we need to translate that requirements into a working system so that our system is easy to use for our users. Anyone look at this? Know what this is? So this
No,
is
sir.
a technology that apply augmented reality.
Oh, augmented reality.
It's like Pokemon Go. Okay, so basically in here, the user, the kids, can purchase the toy and then interact with the toy using their phone. Okay, and trust me, it involves a lot of disciplines, not just computer science. Okay, it needs to be easy enough to be understood by kids, and so on. All right. Now, UI and UX. This is definition. These days, people often confuse between UI and UX. UI, user interface, is simply the point of interaction, or we can say the page, that allows interaction between user and the computer or the digital device or whatever. So UI is simply the page, like this page, like the landing page, like this is the page for my mail, and so on. Okay, and this is the interface too. So interface is simply what we face, and for a system, this is usually the web page or the application page, and so on. UX is how easy or how difficult it is to interact with the UI. So UX is how easy. Now you can see here, both focus on user. So you don't really say, once you created your system, you just evaluate your own system by saying, hey, I think this computer, the system that I make is having a good UI. The UX is very easy. No. It's not the developer experience. It has to be the user experience. You need to test to your user and see if they have trouble operating your system. See if they have difficulties. See if they confuse. Okay. You may hear this later, but I'm going to tell you the basic, one of the what's called inspiring quotes in UI and in UX. Don't make me think. To be precise, don't make the user think. If you go to a website, if our user visit our website, for example, you should not confuse user. You should not confuse user, and therefore you should enable user to immediately understand what is this website about and how to use it. Okay, if you look at google.com, for example, Google has not many interfaces. This interface is the landing page of Google. As you can see here, this is the instructions, as simple as that. Okay, you want to go to, let's say, Instagram. It's already no, logged out. Okay, this is the landing page. So basically in here says, okay, you need to log in first. And this is what we can do in here. Okay, I personally still confused and don't really understand what Instagram is. So it's not as direct as the Google. Let's try something else. Let me do incognito. Let's say, what else? WhatsApp.com. Okay, I like this one. Why? It has a direct message. Simple, secure, reliable messaging. So this, in these 4 words, explains what is WhatsApp. And that's not easy as it is. Okay? Put it simply, if you want to create a profile web page for yourself, okay, you want to promote yourself, and therefore you want to create a website for you. What are 3 to 4 words to explain about yourself? Can you think? Edward.
Excuse
Oh,
me, sir.
yes.
Can you repeat it, sir?
Okay. In here, I give an example how WhatsApp clearly explain what WhatsApp is with 4 words: simple, secure, reliable messaging. And that is good. That is what every application should have. Okay, that's a tagline that clearly explain what WhatsApp is. Goes the same, for example, for Ubaya. Here in Ubaya, we have a tagline, learning beyond classroom. That's only 3. Okay, if you look at other, let's say we go to Telkom. Okay, we go to telkom.co.id, or we go to microsoft.com. Microsoft.com. Okay. Oh, they don't really put tagline in here. They immediately put the products that they have in here. And telecom is very difficult to open. Anyway. Okay, stop this one. Microsoft Edge, Performa Kelas Dunia. Okay, and this is the tagline: privacy, productivity, and values. Those are the three things. Now, think if I ask each of you to create a web page for each one of you, I want you to create 3 to 4 words to simply express who you are. Okay, how do you want to promote yourself? What do you think? Lucky, explain yourself in 4 words. Not explain. A better task is promote. Okay, you are many things. You are many things, but you want to promote yourself. What do you want to promote about yourself? Obviously, it depends on who you want to promote to. Okay, but think of something. Think of 4 words, 3 words, or 4 words to promote who you are.
Unique, creative, and valuable.
Good. Edward. Edward, you there, mate?
Yes, sir.
4 words, 3 words, 2 words, doesn't matter. Maximum
Nice, man.
4. Sorry?
Nice, man.
Okay. Good. Kenneth.
Wait. I can't describe myself.
Come on. You know yourself for years,
um,
right?
yeah, but I don't know myself.
I'm sure you do.
Unpredictable, lazy, and yeah, that's just 2 of them.
That's probably a description how you describe yourself, but sometimes how you describe yourself should be different on how you promote yourself. Therefore I'm asking you, promote.
Oh, so promote myself.
Yep.
Okay. Unpredictable, creative, and fast thinker.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Gilang,
Yes, sir.
promote yourself in 4 words or less.
Forward. I'm friendly.
Mhm.
I'm a nice person.
Okay.
I'm a
That's 3.
simple man.
All right. That's 5. Anyway, good. Good. Catherine.
Interactive, adaptable, flexible.
Adaptable and flexible. It's kind of similar, hey? Anyway,
Oh, okay.
it's good.
Multifunction.
Good. Michelle. Michelle, you there? Is your microphone working? Hello? Okay, Zane. You there, Zane?
Yes, sir.
Okay, promote yourself.
How do I do this? Yeah. I'm a bit confused when it comes to promote myself.
Well, sooner or later, you're going to meet someone where you need to promote yourself. It can be your client, it can be your boss, it can be your future in-laws. I don't know, right? But eventually, you will need to promote yourself.
Okay. I'm edgy, but fast respond and reliable.
Okay.
Okay.
Third one?
What, sir?
Is that it? Or you have the third one?
I think that's it.
Okay, good. Thank you. So as you can
Okay.
see, even to promote the thing or the object that we should be like comfortable with is hard. Okay, imagine to promote a project that you want to sell. It's not easy. UX is actually coined like from decades ago, since the 90s, by Don Norman. It's just lately being more popular. Simply, Don Norman says that user experience encompasses all aspects of the end user interactions with the company, its services, and its product. Okay, so it's everything when user interact with the system, but also including the company. Okay, now a good UI and UX should consider all of this. As you can see here, all of these are user-centered. So they put user in mind, how user can use this end product. And they need to think that not all users are tech savvy. You understand? They not all users are can understand complicated things to operate a system. Okay, they want to make it as easy as possible. For example, the things on the left and the things on the right have the same exact function. However, things on the left is harder to operate. Why? Because when the user wants to input the credit number, well, the keyboard is just wrong. You cannot type number using this one. Well, Jimmy, you need to tap this one, and that should be it. Yes, but this day is faster if when people have focused on this number field, number text box, we can just change the keyboard. Instead of showing this by default, we show this and just this, because we don't really allow text. But if they really want text, they can just do like hold on this one or double tap or triple tap on this one. But by default this is number. Okay, instead of the text box is number, but the default keyboard is text. It's just so wrong. Okay, and therefore the right screen is better than the left. Make sense? This is how far we need to consider the user experience. It has the same interface. If you think about it, same interface, same function, but the user experience is different. Now, how about this? Which one do you think is better? The top one or the bottom one?
Bottom one, sir.
Why?
It has a clear message in here. Empty threads.
Okay. Yes. So there are several things that we need to look at in here. This is a warning. Okay, you are about to do something that cannot be undone. If you look at in here, it has the logo. The biggest logo is people smiling. Nothing wrong in here. I can just say okay, because okay is the default button that we always press. If there's an okay, just press okay. If there's a yes or no, just press yes. People don't really see this one. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Many people don't read this one. They just look, okay, the guy is still happy, smiling, so there's nothing wrong in here. There's an okay, I just press okay. But in here, we put a big exclamation mark for people to be careful. When people see this, people will realize, okay, this is not something that I can just say okay. And there's no okay button in here. There is just a command to empty the trash. And because this is a big warning, all right, there's still this icon, but the biggest one is warning. We stress to our user, hey, this is a warning for you. Are you sure? And then people will start looking at this one. So this one convey the message better. As you can see, the similar interface can have a very big difference in effectiveness. Now, anyone use iPhone? Well, you can use this one using iPhone or Google Android phones. All right. The problem, this one looks normal, right? You can talk to your phone and say, hey, set alarm for 7:30 or 8 or maybe 6 in the morning. Looks fine, right? But what if somewhat we sleep late and we ask Siri to tell to wake us up at 7:30 at 01 a.m. midnight? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen if I said to Siri, Siri or Google, please set an alarm for tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m.
The alarm will set for the tomorrow.
for tomorrow. What we mean is not tomorrow, but this morning. Okay? Because we still consider that 1 a.m. is still yesterday, not today. We don't really consider even 1 a.m. Okay, let alone 1 minute, even 1 hour. We still consider, okay, 6 a.m. is still today. It's still tomorrow. Sorry, it's still tomorrow. So we need to think about people. What's that? Psychology. Okay, people don't really always accurate when people say things. Okay, when people say things, we don't really accurate. Okay, this is another terms. Good UI does not always produce good UX, but you need to have a good UI to have a good UX. And also, you need to feel it, use it, experience it to describe a UX. You need to actually try the user experience, and you need to let your users to try it and see how they react to it. Now, speaking about UI, you cannot escape from prototyping. Prototyping is creating a prototype. It's a model. It's a model. Why we need to create a prototype? We will explain about it later. But prototype, by definition, is a process of creating a draft version or a model to a product that allows you to explore your ideas and show the intention behind the feature or the overall design or concepts before investing time and money into development. Okay, the idea in here is cheap and quick to meet the user expectations. Okay, we focus on functionality and exploring different ideas, and therefore model or prototype is sometimes really what's called sensational. Okay, it really focuses on ideas. Okay, it doesn't have to be really functional, but it is a design ideas. To make it actually work, maybe we need to adapt here and there. We need to change one thing or two things, but in the end, what focus in here is to propose different ideas to convey the intention. Now, in the old days, people use this one. Okay, pen and paper. They put writings in here, and then this is prototype, so that people can understand. Okay, this is what I'm going to have. Well, lucky these days we don't have to use these kind of things. There are so many wireframe or low fidelity. This is called low fidelity, means low precision prototyping. We can use this tool to create a prototype instead of this one. This is faster and looks better than this one, right? This one requires you to like spend a lot of time to create this one, and this one is way easier. So we're going to focus on this one instead of this one. Now, I mentioned before, this is low fidelity, low details, okay? Low details. And on the other hand, high fidelity looks like this. So instead of just, okay, you will have image in here, you will have text in here, you will have title in here, everything in blue. This is just like blueprints, okay? Low fidelity in here. You already show, okay, sample image and also have interface flow. So from this in the middle, this is the starting point. You can go here by clicking what. In here, you can go here by clicking what, and so on and so forth. So instead of blue objects, in here we already use what's called sample images to create a high detailed prototype. And this high fidelity also includes how we can move or transition between interface. All right, now why bother prototyping? One thing for sure, it's time and cost saving. Okay, imagine if you already create the products and your client simply say, no, that's not what I want. Okay, that's going to be really bad. Why bad? Because you already invest too much time and too much resources on that one. Second, feedback. Feedback is really important. Okay, no matter how good your design, user will always complain. Trust me on that. No matter how good your design is, your client, your user will always complain. Okay? What they don't complain? What do you think a person or people don't normally complain? What kind of design that don't get complained from the user?
Something simple.
Define simple.
Something easy to use.
Yes, but simple is different for everyone. Some people think this is very simple, other people think it's very hard. Design that surely will not be will not get complaint from the user is design that is proposed by the users. So
For me, it's
yes,
for me, it's about how user friendly is. So
yeah, but user friendly is defined by the users, as I mentioned, and therefore we should ask feedback. By feedback is we gather what the user want. Okay, if the users want, okay, I want this one like this. Okay, so it means it's the user design, not our design. Okay, we make the user more and more closer to the user want, what the user want. The problem is when we want to create interface for many users, what should we do? And then we need to have a lot of user testing to gather what we really want. Basically, we need to gather a lot of feedback so that when we launch the system, we don't have as much complaints. And that's what feedback is all about. Okay. Now, validation and design intent. Iteration, sometimes when we design something, people use it differently. Okay. And this is validation and design intent is to get like a check from our stakeholders. Hey, our design has been tested and people already able to easily use this application as intended. Okay, now user testing, this is related to usability, and feedback, of course, this is to test the user, to test or to understand how usable or valuable our product for the users. Okay, now evaluation, as I mentioned before. Why evaluation important? Because we cannot improve what we cannot evaluate. Okay, we cannot improve what we cannot evaluate. So this is an important process. we need to be able to evaluate, and we're going to talk a lot about evaluation. A simple introduction to heuristic evaluation. Heuristic evaluation is what's called a usability inspection method for computer software that helps to identify usability problems in the UI designs. Okay, so it's like a checklist. First, we need to check how feasible is the system, how easy it is. Okay, so for a system, we should have a contrast colors. Why? Because maybe some of our user, maybe they are blind color. Do you know that some people may have blind color without them knowing? So simply, sometimes there are just some interface that is just hard for them to read. Okay, and that's still not the user problem. That is our problem to solve. Okay, and there are many heuristics like this. Okay, instead of just saying turn left, we also put arrow on this one. Okay, one of the paradox about that one is the save button. Save button usually represented with a this. This is somewhat silly. Why? Because many people don't know what is this. Have you ever seen this in real world? This.
Yes, sir. Diskette?
Yes, diskette. This, yes. Have you ever seen this?
Yes.
You said you born in the 2000.
Yeah. I mean, my sister has it, so I
Okay.
have seen.
But if someone give you this, you can't open it, right? I can't. I don't have the tools to open this one. Heck, even if now someone give me a disc, a compact disc, I don't know how to play that, right? But it's still common for these days. People still use this disc to represent save button. But somehow we still don't know the best replacement for save button. This one I don't like. It feels like downloading, especially this one. Anyway, there are many heuristics or checklists that we can use to evaluate our interface or user experience. Now, there are also many frameworks for us to work to guide us working, implementing a prototype or a user experience. Now, one of them is interaction design. So interaction design is a framework or is a framework to manage interactive products design process. It supports the way people communicate and interact their everyday working in life. So interaction design involves many disciplines and used in many fields. Okay, ergonomics, design, engineering, computer science, and so on. You don't have to memorize all this. Now, but this all iterative design process focus on the users, and their needs is evaluated or is also the focus in each phase of the design process. So when people talk about interaction design model, as you can see here, user is in the middle, is in the heart, is in the center of this process. And to us, interaction design model is actually user-centered design. They're the same, it's just different terms to express the same thing. Okay, so it started with concept generation. I have an idea, okay, and how we can create a prototype of that idea so that we can have a better understanding on that concept. After we have the prototype, we evaluate the prototype. If we think if the evaluation turn out good, we can deploy to become a product. If not, then we need to evaluate or make another concept perhaps. Okay, so this is a life cycle of interaction design model. From idea, prototype, evaluate, if it's good, deploy, if not, then go back to concept generation. And this involves, as I mentioned before, that we need a lot of expertise. Okay, and lots of perspective, not just expertise, but also perspective. And that's all for today. Next, we are going to talk about the lesson plan for next week. Today, we have this introduction to course, and next week we start discussing about conceptualizing ideas.
So we're going to have a quiz, sir.
I think about it, but because there are only 8 of you, I'm going to change the fun quiz into just quiz, not so fun. But we can do the fun quiz just for fun. That's fine. But I'm going to mark differently. Okay.
So when will we get it, sir?
After this.
Okay.
Okay. It's not marked. It's just said trial.
Oh.
Okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right. So during the first term, the first half, we mostly talk about concepts, ideas. Okay. And we start using prototyping on week 7, and we do a lot of work, hands-on work, during the second half. You will have a project presentation. Because there's not many of you, we probably end up using just one meeting, and then we will do something on other thing on week 13. Okay, so in this, we will have hands-on on low fidelity prototyping and high fidelity prototyping. The assessment. Okay, so for the first half, mostly about concept, theoretical. So it's assessment comes from quiz, and the exam is also written, something that you wrote. However, for the second half, the quiz is only 20%. The quiz is only 20%. The remaining 80 is project. So you don't have a final exam on the second half. The project is one project, but it comes in 3 parts: evaluation, prototype, and report and presentation. The quiz, each quiz is 10 points. Okay, each quiz is 10 points. We're going to have a trial today. Okay, and then you can expect a similar thing next week. The mid exam, as I mentioned before, is online using ULS, and it's open book. There's no use for us to say, hey, don't open your book, right? How can we know? We can't. Now, what important is the project. For the project, you can have a team, maximum of 2. You can be of your own. You can work with your friend. Okay, maximum of 2 students, right? What you can do from now is that you can select an online application that includes web or mobile in the following domain. Application that helps people to learn from home. Startup tools. As you know, there are many startups company. However, most of them fails. There are many applications out there that helps people building a startup. Okay, financially, organizationally, marketing, and so on. Okay, that's another that you can choose. Another domain that you can choose is health tracker. There are many health trackers. There are many pet companion, and there are also many applications to mitigate or stop COVID-19. You can use any of this domain any application that fall within this domain and propose to me. I don't want any group, more than one group discussing about the same app. So after you have the application that you want to evaluate, you need to tell me, Jimmy, I want to use this. I want to use this application for my project. Now, using the concept that we going to explain to you in this unit, you need to evaluate that application, the application that you select. And then you need to propose an alternative prototype, UI and UX, to improve the applications. Of course, you need to evaluate your proposal, your proposed design, and convince me that your design, your prototype is better than the existing application. You need to report your evaluation and prototype. Okay? Now, since there are only 8 of you, I don't want you to create to select some random ugly application, okay, so that it's easy for you to improve, right? No, that's too easy. I want you to create a nice proper application, something with good feedback on them. Okay, so if you are going to evaluate mobile, it means it has to have good ratings, at least 4 stars. 3 or 4 stars is okay. Okay, I prefer 4. And maybe thousands of users. If you can't do like hundreds of thousands or millions, that's fine. Okay, but it needs to be a good reputation application, not just some poor design random application. All right, now on week 14, you need to present your findings and prototype in 10 to 15 minutes. This is 10% of your exam. Any question for today? Any question?
I don't think so, sir.
All right, easy, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's see if I can prepare the quiz for you. Hang on. Let me just prepare the quiz for you. It's an interesting quiz. Okay. All of you, go to this site, joinmyquiz.com, and then put in this code.
So it's just a trial, sir.
Yes, it's just a trial, so that you're more
Okay.
comfortable with this platform next week. Okay, if all of you join, I will wait until all of you inside this screen. Agis in here. Okay.
I'm
Yes.
catching up, sir.
Okay, good.
Uh, I'm sorry for being late, sir.
It's okay.
I've
We
got
yes.
pemadaman lampu bergilir.
Oh, sorry to hear, but don't worry. You should thank Kenneth because Kenneth told me to record this. Okay. Speaking of recording, I don't think I need from here, but you can listen to the recording after this. Okay. Let me just stop recording.